In the spring, the Great Smokies reach the height of their glory. From clear gold light that spills over the trees to mountain jasmine so sweet it makes you cry, the hand of God is everywhere. His love shone brightest in the faces of my school children.
In the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. And the little dog laughed to see such sport and...
Shh. You can do it, Mountie.
And the dish ran away with the spoon.
Very good. Now, everyone, let's show the preacher how well we've learned the doxology. Ready? Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. To some, God didn't seem so loving. I'd been wanting to join David for one of his outpost services in Lufty Branch since I first arrived, but it was a long ride, and the few times I had tried to go, I hadn't quite been successful.
Good work.
I was too.
The first time you tried to go, you fell in the river.
You mean Theo fell, or almost, and I had to dry off at Dr. MacNeill's cabin, remember?
How can I forget? He gave you one of his wife's dresses to wear. Lavender silk.
David, I wish some of my students had your memory.
I remember it was lavender because of how it set off your eyes. And with your hair coming down, leaving you there was extremely difficult. Extremely.
I don't know why you wouldn't let me meet you in Lufty Branch last month.
I didn't want you taking that trail by yourself.
You don't think I can do anything adventuresome myself, do you?
Of course I do.
Admit it, David Grantland. You don't think women have the courage men have.
Why would you want to put yourself in danger? To prove that you're better than men? We already know that you are.
Folks know the way to Dr. MacNeill's cabin?
Are you hurt?
My horse threw me. I think I broke my shoulder.
You should have a sling.
Well, just point me in the right direction. The doc will take care of it.
The cabin's too far away for you to walk with a broken shoulder. We'll take you.
Here's all the sling I need.
What you need is a doctor, and we will take you there. You can ride Jerome, and I will ride with Reverend Grantland.
This is Miss Huddleston.
Tatum. Jarvis Tatum.
get you to Dr. MacNeill's right away.
Don't worry, you're going to be just fine. The Great Smokies. When I left my city home to be a school teacher at a backwoods mission, I dreamed of adventure. I wasn't ready for the real challenges of life in these mountains. I'd have given up, if not for the children. I came to Cutter Gap to teach, but they show me every day that I am here to learn.
I was hoping we could find your horse, but I don't see any tracks.
They threw me down the trail a ways.
It would be a shame to lose him. Maybe we can still find him.
Too late. Dang animal ran off. You two promised to each other?
No. That's one blessing that hasn't come to pass. Yet.
Marriage is a blessed state. It says that in the Bible, right?
That it does.
Also says, let not the wife depart from her husband.
You certainly know your Bible.
I know marriage. I know the love of a good woman is all that matters. If you ain't got that, you don't got nothing.
How's Ruby Mae's shingles?
Oh, much better, thank you.
I heard Rebecca Holt had twins.
Well, that news is hot off the press. I guess I'll check in on them on my way back from the McCones.
Isaac's ear infection.
Well, Bog, there's definitely nothing wrong with your ears. They're amazing.
Not much goes on in these parts I don't know about. News from over in Raven Gap. Ellie Tatum died.
What?
2 days ago.
But she was fine. You remember she had some trouble when she lost her son during childbirth. But last time I looked in on her, she was better than I expected. How's the husband taking it?
Pretty hard, they say.
Sure the doc will be home?
I'm sure he'll be able to help you. He's a very good doctor.
All the way up here alone, huh? Nobody else around?
Daniel! Oh, Daniel, I have just had the most joyous experience. Twins, 2 lives, coming into the world at each other's heels, quite literally. Twins, Daniel. I wish you could have seen Mrs. Holt's face.
So do I.
Of course, Mr. Holt's face was something to see, too. As is yours.
Miss Alice, now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate everything that you've done to help me. But, well, Papa used to say, wishing don't make it so. It is impossible for me to train to be a doctor here.
Is it?
Well, even you are practicing more medicine than I am.
Even I?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that the way it sounded.
It's not the local custom for men to be present at a delivery.
You mean a colored man?
Daniel, you know as well as I do that unless a birth is difficult, a physician is seldom called in. This is a matter in which you'd be treated the same as any man. You'd be told the jug needs emptying outside. We're not exactly in the forefront of modern medicine here.
Believe me, I'm painfully aware of that. I can't learn it all from books either. Dr. MacNeill offers no help.
Oh, Daniel, be patient. He can teach you a great deal.
Teach me. Miss Alice, the man barely even acknowledges my existence.
Dr. MacNeill? David, I don't think he's home. Maybe we should take...
Go inside and get some bandages.
Well, don't you think we should take Mr. Tatum?
Go inside.
David.
please, do as I say. I'll help Mr. Tatum wash up at the river. Mr. Tatum, the river. Mr. Tatum, I know you're not injured.
He forced me! He attacked me!
No, he would never do that!
I was defending myself!
He said he was gonna save me!
Shut up! Get aside! I told you to shut up!
David!
He attacked me! I only want the doctor! Get here!
No!
Come here! Don't make me shoot you, too! Don't make me shoot you!
I'm sure it was a mistake. I know you don't want him to die. Please, please, let's go look for him. He could still be alive.
No.
Please.
We're gonna stay right here.
Please. Lord, please. Lord, let him be alive.
And quit that praying! I gotta think.
Doc MacNeill? Sam Houston? Go away. Teacher? He hasn't done anything. Teacher?
He knows you're here.
I come here often.
Dr.
I'm his
MacNeill?
teacher.
Are you
I can whisper
there?
him to go away. I promise he won't know anything's wrong. Please. Please. Please, he's just a little boy.
Dr. MacNeill?
You give me away, I'll kill you both. I swear.
Gotta show the dog.
He's not here right now, Sam Houston. Are you all right?
I found the best patch of arrowheads. I gotta show him.
You go home now. I promise I will tell Dr. MacNeill you're looking for him, and he'll come find you.
Somebody else may find them. I always show him arrowheads.
I don't know how long he'll be gone.
Reckon I can wait.
He's probably gone fishing. The trout are running. He may be gone overnight. But if you go straight home, I promise I will tell Dr. MacNeill. All right?
Be gone overnight.
His rod is gone. I know his favorite spot. I could take you there.
Why would you do that?
Well, people come here for help, and I don't want you to shoot everyone who shows up here before he gets back. He could be gone days.
Days?
It's a half a day's walk, and he'll stay overnight at least. He says the flies rise best in the mornings. You'll never find him if you wait here. Somebody else will show up. They have guns too.
We're gonna need some food.
I'll get it.
And a doctor goes off fishing when folks might need him. Let's go.
Figured I'd wait a bit.
Please don't.
He's coming with us.
No, you can't.
Where are you going?
He's just a little boy.
I said he's coming with us.
All right. Then let me explain it to him. There's no point in frightening him. We're going to find Dr. MacNeill.
Can we show my arrowheads?
Not right now. This man has business with him.
What kind of business?
I can't answer all your questions.
Why not?
Listen to me. We are going to have to be very good, very brave, and very quiet.
Go.
Sam Houston, you just do what Mr. Tatum says.
You just listen to your teacher, boy. Stay out of trouble.
You must have children of your own.
My son died of foreigning. But that ain't none of your business.
Mr. Tatum, why is it so important that you find Dr. MacNeill? Maybe there's something I could do.
Which way? Come on, we ain't got all day. Which way?
Left. Go left.
Opal! Opal, see that Isaac takes this twice a day, and don't let him scratch his ear.
Much obliged. If you wait, I can give you some of this here corn.
Oh, thanks anyway. But I want to go and check in on Jarvis Tatum. And it's a long ride.
Jarvis Tatum out by Raven Gap.
That's right.
He ain't there. Burned down his cabin and took off.
Burned down his cabin.
Tom's sister lives near him. She just came by on her way to El Pano. Said Jarvis Tatum went plumb crazy when his wife killed herself.
Ellie killed herself?
Tom's sister found some medicine bottles near her bed. Same thing you give me after I lost my baby. Remember how you told me not to take too much? What'd you call it? Laudanum?
Laudanum.
Losing your baby. No man can understand that hurt.
There has been a misunderstanding between you and the doctor. I'm sure.
No misunderstanding. Killed my wife.
But you cannot believe that Dr. MacNeill killed your wife.
You'd give her the poison. Said it'd make it better, and it killed her. That's your fine, Dr. MacNeill. What's that over there? That's some kind of church. You've been leading me into a trap. Come here, boy! Come here! You never meant to take me to him. You were lying all along.
Let us go, Mr. Tatum. By the time we get back, you could be gone.
We're going back to the docks.
No! You can't. There could be people there. They could have found David by now.
Don't you tell me what to do! This is all your fault!
Please let us go. You could get a head start. They will never, ever find you.
I told you to shut up! Just shut up! Spend the night here. Nobody came all the way up here to see old Robertson when he was alive. Ain't gonna come up now, he's dead.
Teacher, I'm terrible hungry.
Inside. Sit down over there, boy.
Mr. Tatum, you were right. Dr. MacNeill and I are close, very close. I could write him a letter, and Sam Houston could give it to him in the morning. I could tell him to come meet you here.
You think I'm stupid? He'd bring a pack of men with him. Now sit down.
Not if you tell him to come alone.
You tell him I got you. His life for yours. That'll make him come.
No, that's not what I meant. Just listen to him and let him explain what happened.
He can't.
He can.
Now sit down.
He can. He can help you understand. He cared about your wife.
He cared about her so much he killed her. Now he'll understand. Understand you can't mess with folks and get away with it.
Dr. MacNeill, I've got the golden seal for the eye.
Mrs. Spencer, it's me. I have business with Dr. MacNeill. What happened here?
Something terrible.
I call myself a doctor. I was responsible for her death. I didn't pay enough attention. I knew she was depressed. And all I could do was prescribe a sedative.
Neil, she took her own life.
And I gave her the means to do it!
She was a troubled woman long before you treated her, long before her child was stillborn. They'd tried over and over for healthy children. It is deeply sad to see it turn out the way it did. But you treated Ellie appropriately, and now they must distance themselves.
distance myself. I came back here to help these people. All I can do is kill them. Last month, Jenny Myers, Janet Cox.
A ruptured appendix and a heart attack, Neil. Since my last visit in Low Gap, there's 2 children dead of dysentery. It is tragic, but it is not my fault. I reject that responsibility. Have you taken the time to mourn Ellie Tatum, or would you rather blame yourself?
If only I were a better doctor, Alice.
That's pride, Neil.
Pride?
You're not a miracle worker. You're not God. You're a doctor. A good doctor. I know that for a fact. Whatever doubts you may have, whatever doubts Margaret or I may have reinforced, you are a good doctor.
Hello?
Miss Alice! Miss Alice! Oh, doctor, thank God you're here. Somebody has lost a whole lot of blood up at your place recently.
Miss Alice, El Pano's on the line for you.
This is Alice Henderson. Thank you for letting us know. Miss Huddleston and Reverend Grandlin never arrived in Lofty Branch. Neil, gather a search party and head up Cold Spring Mountain. I will head down Crum Hollow, and Ruby May, you run to the Holts. Tell them we need everybody that can search.
Dan Houston's missing. His brother said they went down to on Arrowheads at Dr. MacNeill's. He never got home for supper. We looked all over.
Yeah, I can get Tom and Opal McCone and anybody else I can find.
I'll go to Boggs. You don't think he'll listen to me?
I'll go get the horses, I think.
Somebody has to be here in case they return. Please.
When you found those arrowheads, did you take any? Do you still have it?
No talking. What are you doing, girl? No more of your tricks.
I haven't been playing any tricks on you.
No? What's this? Found those on the trail when we watered the horses. You can forget about anybody coming to help you. Get him quiet.
Let me tell him a story that should help him go to sleep.
Just get him quiet.
Where's the arrowhead?
It's in my back pocket.
How loud so I can hear?
Once upon a time, in ancient Rome, a man named Androcles went for a walk. And do you know what happened, Sam Houston? A lion leapt out in front of Androcles and roared and scared him.
What are you doing?
My side hurts. I've been lying on it all night. But Androcles found out that the lion did not intend to hurt him. He was just in a lot of pain because he had a giant thorn stuck in his paw. So, Androcles overcame his fear and took the thorn out of the lion's paw. And the lion was so grateful that he and Androcles became friends.
That's enough. Go to sleep.
I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about David. praying he was still alive, thinking that somehow I could will him to stay alive. And come alone.
What's that word right there? Is that my name? You water the horses, boy? Good job. All right, you ready to go, boy?
Ow! Mr. Tatum won't hurt you, Sam Houston.
Let's go.
What about you, teacher?
Everything is going to be fine. Sam Houston, listen to me. I am going to be all right. Have I ever told you a lie before? Can you believe me? It's a promise. Nobody is going to get hurt. Nobody.
You read, boy? Read that letter. Out loud.
Jarvis Tatum has me at the old Robertson cabin, but it is you that he wants. He says he will kill me if you don't come, and come alone.
Very good, Sam Houston. I will be sure to tell your parents how well your reading's coming along.
Is there more, boy? What's that say right there?
But bring help. The cabin is surrounded by woods where they can...
Now, you listen to me. You listen good. You're gonna deliver that message and deliver it right. You understand? And you're gonna tell the doc he's gotta come and come alone. And real quick. You understand me? Huh? Swear? Blood oath.
I swear.
You know what that means, boy? Huh?
When is teacher gonna be back?
Soon, honey. We're just gonna have to pray real hard.
I've been praying all night. But without preacher, it doesn't do no good. They're never gonna come back.
Now, Sam Houston has gone missing before and made it back just fine. They'll all be fine. We're gonna have to keep the faith. And when they get back, we're gonna have a big surprise waiting for them. This here is extra special paper. Miss Christy had it sent all the way from Asheville. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use it to write a letter to Miss Christy and the preacher and Sam Houston and tell them just what it is we love about them.
I can't write.
Neither can I, honey. But you know what? I can sign my name. So I'm gonna draw Miss Christy a picture of her sitting right here in this classroom where she belongs. And that'll help her come back.
I'm gonna make a map so they can find him.
I'll set out up Raven Mountain. It was a mild night. I'm certain they got through it.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm going to try Pebble Mountain. Oh, my God.
There were no more markers. The trail just died. I tried to find her.
He's lost a lot of blood, but the bullet passed clean through.
They slept all night. I could have been looking for them.
There's no sign of infection, only soft tissue damage. I tell you what, for a city-fied preacher, he showed a lot of spunk. I'm impressed.
I've got to find her.
Hush, David. You did the right thing coming back here. Easy. Easy now.
Elizabeth, he's got Sam Houston.
Look where you found.
Look who I found.
Stand back, Elizabeth. Stand back.
What happened to you, son?
Let me have a look at you, Sam.
I fell down while I was running, but Mr. Scott fixed me up, and it don't hurt no more. But it don't matter. He's got teacher.
Now get inside! Don't try that anymore. Get inside!
He says he's gonna kill her if you don't come, Doc. He said that you gotta get there quick and come alone.
Is that all, son? Come on now.
He made me swear.
Come on, boy.
Sam Houston, an oath that somebody forces you to make has no power over you.
It's all right.
Miss Christy said bring help.
Women! You can't trust them! They say they're gonna stick by it! And then they leave!
Ellie didn't run away. She died.
No! She didn't kill herself! It wasn't her fault!
Of course not.
So what? Is it my fault? Huh? Is that what you're saying? It's my fault? I killed her? If that's what you're saying, I'll kill you!
Come on now, we waited too long. Let's go, boy.
You gotta stop them from coming, Alice. You heard what Jarvis said.
Careful, man.
I'm going alone.
That's too dangerous.
What difference does it make? My life at Christie's, there's no comparison.
Stop it, Neil.
I'm going with you, Doctor.
You're too weak.
Alice, it's Christy.
He can ride with me. Come on.
Why would she have killed herself? I mean, we was all right. Except for losing the baby, we was all right. Things was hard, but it wasn't my fault. She could have shook herself out of it. If it wasn't for his poison.
This wasn't Dr. MacNeill's fault. And it wasn't your fault. He's a good man like you.
No, I ain't.
You loved your wife. You loved your son. And they were both taken from you. When love is ripped away like that, it leaves you so alone. I can see how it could make you desperate, how it could make you do desperate things. That doesn't mean there still isn't good inside you.
No, it's gone. It's gone with Ellie, it's gone with my boy.
I know how it hurts to lose a child.
Oh, no, you don't. How could you? You aren't even married.
I had a baby sister. She was born in the spring. I was 8 years old. And I was so excited. And Amelia was perfect. It's like a little China doll. She had dark blue eyes. The tiniest little hands. I would feed her. And she would hold onto my finger and look up at me and laugh. Like she knew a secret.
You're lying to me. One of your tricks to try and soften me up.
Well, you can believe me or not, but I know what happened. I don't talk about it. I don't tell people because they don't know how it feels unless they've lost. But you have. I would take Amelia out in her carriage every day. And I would rock her to sleep. She was my baby. Amelia got scarlet fever. And I wasn't allowed to see her because I might catch it. And she died 2 days before her second birthday. It hurt so much. You know how much? And I was so furious. I was furious at my parents and the doctors, everybody who let it happen.
Then you understand why.
But it wasn't their fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. It was terrible. And it wasn't fair. But there wasn't anyone to blame. I had to accept that. But I haven't forgotten Amelia. She's in my heart. And in every child in my classroom.
Jarvis. It's me. Neil MacNeill. I've come like you said.
Trap! I told you to come along, MacNeill! I'll kill the first man who gets closer! And the girl!
Killing your answer to everything? This killing that goes on and on. You men, with your guns and your vengeful spirit. How dare you? How dare you imagine that you can take a life, any life that God has given? I know Jarvis Tatum, and I know it. I knew Ellie, and I pray that her spirit will find peace. But he deserves not our judgment, but all of our compassion.
Please, whatever you think of God, think of Christy Huddleston. She's innocent in all this. Think of what might happen to her.
Don't you think you owe her that much?
David! David! He's alive! David is alive! Mr. Mr. Tatum! You haven't killed anyone.
God sees you. Look at me. Look at me. God sees you. If you do this terrible, fearful thing, it will be sin. And a stain on your lives that will never wash away. God Almighty sees you. He sees all of you.
You are not alone. You have friends out there. And in here.